hustlers. The Bowery got his bumps. 42nd Street got Big Jim, a walker, he a bull shooting son of a gun. Yeah, he's big and dumb as a man can come, but he's stronger than a country horse. And when the bad folks all get together at night, you know they all call Big Jim Boss just because.
Roll call, please.
Supervisor Werner,
Here.
trustee Werner, or trustee, treasurer Werner,
Here.
clerk Moore here, trustee White,
Here.
and trustee Snow.
South.
Sal, I'm sorry,
I like that
geez.
too.
I was thinking of Link Snow that I went to school with, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. All here.
Everybody's here. Approval of the agenda. Any additions or deletions? I believe there's gonna be one, and unless I can find it, and that was the last one, resolution 2023, number 10, for the poverty. I'm not sure we have all that information in front of us yet.
They have not yet sent the numbers
Right,
out.
it stops at 9, so we can we can defer that as we go down if you want.
That's what we should
Or if
do.
we just
We will be back to it.
defer it right now.
Oh, well, we can.
Yeah, we'll defer it on the way through. All right, anything else?
Not yet. No.
No?
Nope.
I'd entertain a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
You have to entertain the motion. I'll make the motion.
There you go. Vanessa, you can still second it.
Okay.
Okay,
Approval of agenda vote.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passed. Okay, approval of the meeting minutes from December 28th, 2022.
I make a motion to approve the minutes. I'll second.
I have one question. On public comment at the last, Craig said that the blight issue had not been handled yet, and I told him that the blight officer had been there and issued a ticket. Am I calling them correctly? Are they tickets or citations?
Citations.
Citations.
Yep, for one of this.
All right. Well, I don't want it to be added to the list of things that I talk wrong, so citation, I guess.
Well, you're on the subject. I think Dave told me that he had not issued any citation for that house out there that belongs to Cheddar.
We're not on that, we're on the.
Okay, so,
Minutes,
okay,
I'll make a motion to accept.
Those were already done.
Yep.
Fine.
I made the motion.
And
Yep,
Vanessa
all-
seconded.
all those in favor?
I just, yes.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right,
Backing up because of the.
Yep. treasurer's report, Vanessa, if you would.
In general fund, there's $487,244.17. The water fund, there's $115,354.95. Park fund is $27.04. Road fund is $291,105.81. Cemetery fund is $29,709.85. Then the amounts on your right-hand side are the amounts where we were at a year ago.
In January?
Mm-hmm. A year ago today.
Here go today. I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll second the motion.
You want a roll call for that?
As soon as I get to it, remember I'm writing it in.
Yeah. With a pen, so.
That's right. Okay. Clerk Moore, yes. Trustee White
Yes.
and Treasurer Werner,
Yes.
Supervisor Winter,
Yes.
who do you want to be today? South?
We'll go with South.
It's a good name, okay. Trustee South, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. I'm down with some payables. I'm not gonna read it all. $9,086.62. Everything else is in front of you.
Sounds good, I just went through it.
Any questions?
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Okay.
I'll second it. Roll call again if you would.
Clerk Lamore, yes. The Treasurer Winter,
Yes.
Supervisor Winter,
Yes.
and Trustee South,
Yes.
and Clerk Lamore, yes. I think we got them all right.
Yep.
Oh, Trustee White, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, now we got them all.
All right,
Thank you.
public comment. Anybody have anything?
Oh, one question.
Sure.
Is it possible to get the budget onto the website?
The budget on the
Yeah,
website.
your annual budget?
Last year's budget or the budget that's coming up? We're about
Well,
to
both.
go into, budget meetings before.
Yeah, the budget's coming up.
Budget won't
Your
be-
previous budget,
Previous budget on the website.
sure.
Man, I don't, look into it, I guess.
That question.
Yeah, I've never, you look at it, I guess, see what it's gonna take. I mean, there's pages and pages of it, but yeah, there's pages of everything else, so,
Or if you can come in when Lindsay's here, I'm sure she can show you that budget.
yeah.
We can bring it up.
That might be better if it was for, you know,
Oh, I agree,
public
but in the
receiving.
interim, if you wanted to see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, in the meantime, by the
Albert
time.
Township has theirs on,
Mhm.
been on many years.
But in the interim,
Really?
if you wanted
Okay.
to see it, you could, have Lindsay show it to you, and then we can work on getting it up there.
Good, thanks.
On the website? Is
Also-
that where it's at? You said theirs is on the website,
Yes, Albert Township does.
Albert?
You see how they do it?
Okay, yeah, maybe it's something we can,
Along those lines, I've seen other townships which has all the salaries per diems of board members. For transparency, it would be good just to have that on the website.
yeah.
Anything else? Anybody?
Okay, any other public comment?
Yeah, just Gordon Green and myself attended a NEMCOG late night seminar in Gaylord on Wednesday on renewables, which essentially is, you think about renewables as solar panels and windmills,
Okay,
and about zoning. Really interesting. It was PhD from U of M gave the presentation. A lot to go into. I've got all the material, I won't go into it. But bottom line is, if we don't do zoning, the state could do it for us. And we can't deny windmills, and we can't deny under the Zoning and Enabling Act, or windmills or solar panels.
solar,
Right. But solar panels really make sense with working with PG&E, because you need a lot of area for them to make any sense.
yep. Yeah, we had a gentleman here, that kind of put on a presentation about everything. I mean, if you're looking at a large solar panel farm, I mean, the acreage, and then you also have to be close enough to the grid,
Correct.
because when you get out into the little large farm, you're not close enough to the grid, and it costs too much to bring the grid to you.
Yeah, generally within 1 mile, but what they're doing is they're putting it in agricultural and farmland,
Yeah,
and it serves the dual purpose, because at some point, these solar panels could go away with new technologies, so you could reclaim the land.
reclaim it as well, okay?
So that, lot of areas of discussion, but the one thing I'd not recommend is windmills, because these windmills, to be effective, are now going up to 800 feet. That's
Yeah.
about 2/3 of a mile, you know,
Yeah.
or 2/10 of a mile, sorry.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if anybody, and they're massive. I mean, the blades are the size of a football field. I'm not sure anybody, the only place you'd put that is on a farm or something, but they make noise, they kill birds. And I sure wouldn't want to be the guy climbing up 800 feet to do maintenance on it. So it's a lot of issues. And the other thing is, it doesn't create any jobs really.
Yeah.
It's just maintenance jobs. Once they're installed, there's, you know, you hear from Washington this whole thing about that all this green is gonna create energy. Not in solar and wind.
Yeah.
And 70% of the solar comes from China. So maybe jobs in China, but not here.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so then as far as the zoning end of it, have we got anything
no.
started on that end of the zoning for solar or wind?
No, and since we're working with NEMCOG on that right now, and Gordon and I were at the meeting, and we said we gotta incorporate this in the master plan.
Okay,
And what they did in Illinois is essentially, they took away the zoning from local communities, and they said, you're gonna put it here. And then you lose control.
Who took it away?
State did.
same. Okay, anybody else? No? All right. Old business, downtown discussion.
Haven't got anything on that, but I wanna bring it to the board's attention that in fact we have to start work on this because MDOT is going to be doing that road out there in the fall of this year. And they need to know if we're gonna make any changes and what those changes are going to be, so it's a lane modification of painting that's being discussed, and we need to get that, before the board on an issue, so we can get it resolved, so they know what to do. Other than that, there's been discussion around about trees, which are obviously important to some and not to others. But there's a lot to be done on that, the sidewalks and so on. So we've got a lot of work in front of us before the fall. That's it.
Well, the sidewalks can still be done after the pavement was done. I mean,
Well, it can.
it's not, they're not in the roadway. I mean, it'd be nice to do it all. I'm with you, it'd be nice to, why town was tear up the whole town, but it could be.
What's the timeline on that again?
Fall, early fall. What that date is, I don't know. That's an MDOT.
We have no audio on the Zoom.
We have no audio on the Zoom.
I do.
Okay. Cheryl Boone Penn, do you have audio?
Vaughn, do you hear us?
Yvonne, do you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's hard to hear Phil because he doesn't pick his head up when he speaks, so it sounds real muffled.
Okay,
I'll try to improve.
yep, we lost Dan,
He's probably gonna try again.
Dan Kemp,
There's usually a button at the bottom, click to join audio on their end.
yeah, all right. Okay,
Yeah, the other thing, Ken, on that was, right now, there's a couple of poles that are in danger, that are communication poles, right up along the 32. One that's right between, a house and the coffee shop, and the other one's down to the west of that. It's leaning much worse than the one by the coffee shop, which has been fractured all the way down the pole on a diagonal, and is in danger of coming down.
yeah,
We have talked about a long time, moving those types of poles to the back,
to the alley.
to the alley.
Yep.
We need to address that as well, so we can maybe accomplish that and getting them off the streets, so we can have a contiguous sidewalk without that interference.
Yep.
So that needs to be resolved as well, okay? That's all I can think of at the moment.
I have to talk to the gentleman that pole is guarding his house
Yeah.
see if he wants that pole moved.
Well, there's a pole in his
I
backyard.
know.
There's one in his backyard already there, so maybe.
But that pole has probably saved that house
Yeah, more than once.
more than once,
Exactly.
so, okay. Any other questions? No? About downtown? All right, zoning amendment for marijuana?
The only thing I can tell you on that was I did attend the county board meeting this morning. They did not put us on the agenda, and so there was no hearing, no conversation regarding that, and therefore we have to wait until the next meeting, which is scheduled for the 19th, which I'm already on the agenda for. You have a new board down there. There's only 2 sitting board members from the last holdover. And 3 of them are brand new and don't really understand the terminology, if you will, of what a waiver means, and they wouldn't even address it. I wouldn't even allow it to be put on the agenda. So that's fine. It is what it is.
All right. Marijuana business application, I would imagine that's deferred since
Yep.
after at least the 19th.
Yes.
Zoning Board of Appeals, and I have not found anybody for that appointment yet. We need to defer that, keep looking. I think I might have a new feller in mind. Zoning amendments,
There's nothing we can talk about there either for the same reason. Went down for the waiver and they wouldn't put us on the agenda.
and that was for the tiny homes and
That was, yeah, for the project over on the airport.
letting everybody else know. And a sawmill, correct?
No. That's
Oh, that
already-
wasn't-
That's already been disposed of. It's
That's already,
approved,
okay.
yeah.
I thought them two was together.
Nope, the 2 that were together was
All right.
marijuana and the zoning on airport road.
Okay. All right, down the fee schedule. So we're deferring the zoning amendment.
We are.
Back up to that real quick, sorry about that. Fee schedule, we kind of brought it to light. Last meeting, we've had a few phone calls on it. Everybody was wanting to know why their residential water fee was going up. Nope, it's a bulk fee, that was part of it. And then the rest of this is zoning fees, but a lot of it was bulk. Everybody get a chance to go through it now that it's been 2 weeks.
Question, how do the zoning fees that you guys are approving compare to the old ones, and what's new and old? I think everybody was confused by that.
So, you wanna address it? You can if you want.
I don't have to, I mean, Dave's here, we could, I mean, we pretty much had one zoning fee, basically, and we broke it down. You wanna come see, you know? copies?
Yeah, please.
Sure, you take mine, you
There's
look at it and then,
Quite a variation in the fees.
you bet. We've followed a little bit of everybody else's and tried to break it up just a little bit.
We kind of checked with other townships and adjusted ours a little bit. We're still way under a lot of townships, so.
Yeah.
But certain ones we were losing money, like a property division or something like that,
Okay.
we're going negative on it.
Well, the one I heard is that if you change ownership of your property, that there's a fee for that. And I've never heard of that
I'm
before.
not aware of that.
Yeah,
I don't think that should be on there. I'm sure it's not on there.
okay. Bruno brought that up.
No.
He mentioned it to me.
No, we didn't do that.
The other thing is that if you're putting in a retention wall, there's a fee for that. And I don't know of other municipalities that do that.
That could be, and that may have come from the Lewiston one. I've never come across a retaining wall so far, so that doesn't mean it shouldn't be taken out or put in. But I've never got involved in it.
Well, I just did one, so.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Well, you need a permit.
Too late. I'm grandfathered in.
Be getting your citation in the mail tomorrow. Okay, so do we wanna act on these here fees?
I'll make a motion.
Implement 'em?
Accept them.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That should be a little, yes, appreciate it. Because we ought to address the fees, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Treasury Winter,
Yes.
Trustee South,
Yes.
Trustee White,
Yes.
Supervisor Winter,
Yes, sorry about that, I was trying to get rid of that tickle before it started.
thought you were thinking. And Clerk Lamore, yes. Motion passes 5-0.
Okay? We have quite a few resolutions we're gonna go through on new business. If you wanna read the whole resolution, or if you want me to, probably not tonight. I don't know if I can make it through without the tickles. We'll hit the highlights on it a little bit. Resolution 2023-1 is the hazard mitigation plan. And this is something that the Montmorency County Board has already done, so we're just following in the footsteps. There is enough why-asses and therefores. So, I don't know if we need to read them. If somebody would like to read them, I'll give you mine for the moment.
It's simply, like you said, a hazard mitigation plan. It has to do with Montmorency County. It's their plan, which we have adopted. We adopted it last year, and and this is what we're doing now, is adopting it once again as a resolution. And that's all we're doing. So, everything else is exactly like you say. It just identifies what it is, their mitigation goals and actions to reduce or eliminate long-term risk. And so, that's all we're doing, is renewing what we did last year. So it's resolution 1 of 2023, hazard mitigation.
I make a motion to, have the supervisor sign that resolution.
Yeah, we have to vote on it.
What does hazard mitigation have to deal with?
That's a very broad term, because anything that's out there, a tornado, anything, a fire, flood,
Natural hazards.
it's how we deal with circumstances that create an emergency situation within the township.
Within the
Okay,
county.
I would just feel curious as to what all it entailed, so.
It's a manual about, I'm thinking around 700 pages the last time I looked at it.
Yeah.
It's quite
It's all
extensive.
natural
Doesn't
hazards.
have to do with asbestos and all that crap.
Well, natural and man-made.
Hazardous mitigation, it's like a tornado, that's not. That's what I thought.
So all we have to vote is vote on this, and we can sign it off. Okay?
Right, I made a motion.
You did, Mr. Warner.
I will second.
Okay, Supervisor Warner?
Yes.
Clerk Lamore, yes. Treasurer Warner?
Yes.
Trustee White?
Yes.
Trustee South?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
You have a copy of that mitigation plan from the county?
Yeah.
You can
You want
get
it?
you
Yeah,
can get
I'd
it
like
from
to
the
see
county.
that.
You can get it from the county. We can't print 700 and some pages tonight anyway.
No, not tonight, I got a copy. I'll give him a copy right now.
You got a copy?
Yeah,
Of the 700 pages.
I do. See if I can find it real quick.
I think they just went into session today to do this themselves. That was also on their the plan today.
That must be front and back.
Yeah.
That is.
Okay, so that's taken care of. On down to resolution 2023-2 is the supervisor salary. And I would be okay with leaving the salary right there and just, I probably can't do much anything I shouldn't do. I should abstain.
Kenny,
Yeah,
would you please announce how much you're making?
you bet.
Thank you.
12,600 for the year.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Oh, second.
Need a roll call vote. Clerk Lamore, yes. Treasurer Winter,
Yes.
Trustee White,
Yes.
okay, and Trustee South,
Yes.
Supervisor Winter.
Abstain.
Motion passes 4-1, or 4-0, with 1 abstention. Okay,
2023-3, treasurer's salary. As of right now, well, as of last year, it was $19,000.
I make a motion to accept.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Are the books completely straight with the audit that you're having doing to warrant a raise in salary?
There is no raise in salary, what it was last year.
Okay. I thought that was the motion that you made. It's hard to hear you.
Oh, sorry, no, same as last year.
Yep.
Same as yours, Ken? Okay,
Yep,
thank
same as
you.
last year. Sorry about that, we'll try to speak up.
Okay.
Okay,
Anything
Roll
else
call.
from the board?
Anything else?
Roll call vote. Trustee White,
Yes.
Trustee South,
Yes.
Supervisor Winter,
Yes.
Clerk Lamore, yes. And Treasurer Winter.
Abstaining.
Okay. Motion passes 4-1, 4-0, with 1 abstention.
Okay. The next one is resolution number 4, 2023-4, which is a clerk salary. Last year it was $15,600. Any discussion?
Oh, we have to do a motion. to discuss.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Now you go to discussion.
Any discussion? No? Good with that? Staying the same?
Yep.
All right, staying the same.
You ready?
Roll call vote, please.
Call vote. Trustee South,
Yes.
Supervisor Winter,
Yes.
Treasurer Winter,
Yes.
and Trustee White,
Yes.
and I will abstain. Motion passes 4-0 with 1 abstention. 1 abstain.
Easy for you to say.
That is a tough word, isn't it?
Okay.
Abstain.
2023, number 5, is the Township Board Trustees' salaries of $6,000 a year. I'll make that motion.
Is there any comment on that?
From the crowd?
Yes.
Not yet.
Okay, well, you gotta make the
We
motion,
have a
go ahead.
second.
I'll second.
There you go, second.
Does the board have any discussion on that? Any discussion? Somebody raised a
No.
question?
Got a question?
Yeah, the question I have is that the last board reduced the salaries from 6,000 to 3,000 after it was looked at other townships. Frankly, I was on a board for 22 years. You're paid a per diem if you show up for the meeting. If you're not at the meeting, you don't get paid. I was paid $60 a meeting. Planning Commission is paid $40 a meeting. I don't see how you justify $6,000.
I can speak to 2 things there. With regards to the price being, or the salary being reduced from 6,000 down to 3,000, under no circumstance can any board reduce that. And it's certainly not for the following administration. They don't have that right to do it. They do not have a right to do any kind of reduction in someone's salary. unless that individual agrees to it. And I don't think you're gonna find that anybody that's trustee on this board, they will.
Well, I know the last board did it.
I know they
They
did it,
did
but
it
it
for
wasn't
an
done properly.
incoming board, not for their board.
Well,
You can't do it for an incoming board. We couldn't vote for the next board to have 0 pay.
Nope.
it wasn't, yeah, it wasn't zero pay, but it was.
I know, but.
It was, okay. Just
You
why,
can't reduce- you
it's a
cannot
perception
reduce it.
thing, guys. It's a
Yeah.
lot of money you guys are getting paid for trustees. I have no problem with the 3 officers, but the trustees are grossly overpaid.
In your opinion, yes. Okay,
That's it.
Okay,
I would have to concur with that statement.
okay, thank you.
And when we're talking about taxpayers' dollars here, and as a trustee, as a previous planning commission member, I did, what my take home was $39. And I was more than glad to do that for the community. Because this position should not be about the money, it should be about helping the community and doing what's right for the taxpayers and caring about what happens to this community. Thank you.
noted.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Roll call, please.
Supervisor Werner,
Yes.
Clerk Lamore, yes. Treasurer Werner,
Yes,
Trustee White,
abstain.
and Trustee South.
Abstain.
Motion passes 3-0, 2 abstentions.
Next on the list is 2023, number 6, the zoning blight officer's salary.
I make a
Oh.
motion to accept.
Well, let me throw the number out there, 8,400.
I make a motion to accept.
I'll second it.
Is that the same then?
It is.
Same,
Okay.
yep.
Any questions?
Any questions?
No.
Roll call, please.
Roll call vote. Clerk Lamore, yes. Treasurer Werner,
Yes,
Supervisor Werner,
Yes.
Trustee White,
yes.
Trustee South.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. Resolution 2023, number 7, is our DNR grant amendment. It is coming due, and we are not done with the bathrooms yet. So we need to see if we can, well, they've always let us in the past. I'm stretching this out a little bit, so I'd like to do that.
Okay. And this is gonna be changing it, Ken, from ending, the actual ending date will be on January the 30th, so this would start on the 31st of January through June the 30th. And that's the extension time allowed that we're asking for from the DNR.
Correct.
Okay. With a final inspection due on September the 29th or before.
Correct.
Okay. I'll make the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Do a roll call vote. Supervisor Werner,
Yes.
Treasurer Werner,
Yes,
Trustee White,
yes.
Clerk Lamore, yes. Trustee South,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Next on our list of things is 2023, number 8, resolution for the regular meeting dates. All the dates are right here. Most everything is gonna land as it's been. Right.
I don't know where, she didn't put the dates on this, so I don't know where, for example, Thanksgiving Day, that day, Christmas Eve, and so on and so forth, what days those actually occur on in the calendar. With
Give me
the
a hot second.
understanding.
Just a minute, we got a hot second going right here.
December,
Well,
The only reason I'm
Christmas
asking
is 25th of December, so.
Yeah.
Well, what day does it fall on?
Monday.
What day
That's
falls on a
okay.
Monday?
Christmas,
Yep.
Christmas Eve
Christmas
would
falls
be-
on a Monday?
Christmas Eve would therefore be on a Sunday.
Yep.
So it'd be the working day, there's 2 days involved that we're allowing. So that means that they would actually utilize Friday as that second day off, and Monday, or Monday is the first, and Monday for the next one. There's 2
Tuesday.
days given, 2 days given here, and 2 days need to be received. So one would occur on a Friday, the other would be on a Monday.
So we should be clear then on a Wednesday,
Correct.
have a meeting on a Wednesday, all right?
I'm
The next
looking
one,
at
yep.
employee day off.
Employee day off.
Yep, Thanksgiving and after Thanksgiving days,
So Thursday and Friday.
most likely.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
So that always occurs on a Thursday, does it not?
yep.
And then the day after would be a Friday, which we're normally off. So
Yeah.
how do we do that?
We've had a meeting before Thanksgiving before.
No, he's talking about
I'm
for
talking about-
employees.
Oh, you're just
Day off.
employees.
Oh, for them.
Yeah. Is that what we're on, or are we on?
No, we're on.
No, we're on the meeting dates.
Oh, I'm
And the
sorry,
close
guys.
the following
Well,
federal holidays.
we're really going ahead then. I apologize.
So what days?
We have nothing for the crew.
No.
No, I see. where
This is
you're-
all
you're
for
down
just
below.
meeting dates.
Well, down below those meeting dates, it says
Right.
that by right, will be closed on the following holidays, and employees will
Yep.
get holiday pay. That's what I was sort of going over,
Okay.
because it's in this
Yep.
So can that be amended to say it falls on regular township or regular business days?
No.
No?
It has to be an additional day, if it falls on a Friday or a weekend.
You add additional day.
And
So
that's,
you
But
have to put it
holiday-
in prior to or after.
Okay.
But
and that's for the
holiday-
crew. Well, that's,
Yeah, that's for
Why should
employees.
they get
Holiday
an
pay is
additional
not
day just
overtime
because
pay,
it's a
so
day
that
off?
Friday would still be a holiday pay, but it's
Why
just
don't
not
they just
overtime
Pay
pay.
them for Valentine's Day
And
too.
the office is closed
Right,
Right.
on those days.
right.
You gonna pay them for Valentine's Day too?
We thought about it. Just kidding.
The only other one on here that causes that issue is,
Holy crap.
New Year's Eve day, which would fall on the same dates. It would be on a Sunday, I'd say,
Sunday,
right?
Mhm.
So then we're closed on what day?
So we'd be closed on Monday, which we're also closed on because that's the day. But see, that's creates an issue too. Because now you're talking about New Year's Day, which they also get in, but it falls in the next year. So what day do we allow the employees to take for a day off on New Year's Eve? It would be on a Friday or a Tuesday.
Again, holiday pay is not hourly or overtime pay, it's a pay in addition to.
I'm not looking
So
at pay.
because this office is closed on Friday and the holiday lands on the Friday, they
Right.
would still get the holiday pay
Right.
because the office is closed.
Right.
So, we don't have to adjust. They're being paid for that Friday
Well, that's
as a
true.
holiday pay.
Okay, I see what you're saying, and you're right, that's exactly right. Okay, Independence Day and the day after, so it's the 4th of July and the 5th. Any problems on there that you see, Vanessa?
So they're gonna have,
Is day after Independence pretty typical?
No, I've never seen it before, that's why I'm asking questions, just like you.
Yeah.
I've never seen
So
us
wait.
give the day after Independence Day off
you're
as
gonna,
a paid holiday.
yeah. I'm off for my country, but usually it's a one-day thing, ain't it?
Yeah,
one day on the 4th.
so we take off day after Independence Day.
They get paid for Black Friday too?
No.
I work in human resources a lot, I never see that.
Fourth of July is on a Tuesday.
Right. Okay, so we good on all this?
That's the day after
Juneteenth, we're not
Thanksgiving. They don't get
closing,
paid
are
for
we?
that.
I'm sorry?
We're
Yeah,
not
sure
closing
do.
on
I
June.
believe we are.
Yeah, I guess not.
That was.
June.
I think they do.
Yeah,
That's a federal
No,
holiday.
according to the handbook.
Yep.
okay.
So they're not paying
Yep.
anything on that?
Labor Day.
Okay. I'll make a motion to accept these dates.
September 4th.
I'll I'll second it.
With the deletion of day after?
Yes.
Day after Independence, yeah, gone. Okay. Anything else? Okay, roll call vote. Trustee South,
Yes.
Supervisor Werner,
Yes.
Clerk Moore, yes. Trustee Werner, our treasurer Werner,
Yes.
you can, we won't lower your pay, it's okay. Trustee White?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 5-0. Okay.
Okay?
And before you get past the salary, there's nothing on here for the deputy clerk. Is she not getting paid?
She's an
She's
employee.
hourly, she's an employee.
So then she receives 0 as deputy clerk?
The office is closed those days.
No, I'm not talking about holiday pay, I'm talking about her salary.
No.
Salary.
No.
She's not on the salary, she's hourly.
It's hourly.
There's 0 for the deputy treasurer, because I don't use her.
Can you, just a question, in your mind, do you have it set up for your folks that have like the July 4th, but they still have to work? Like,
Yeah, I
since
believe
they-
you have to work the day before and the day after to get paid.
Just so, I mean, you.
Is that what
you
you're-
didn't- Yeah, you didn't say anything about that, I just thought, well, yeah, just,
A lot of that stuff is in the employee handbook.
yeah, okay.
That's
Then I think do it.
that thing. I can go get it for you if you want.
All right, no, I don't want.
Okay.
You didn't say
Just say
anything.
the word, I got it.
I don't want to.
Okay, no, it's,
Question for you guys. You guys have a retirement savings plan, correct?
No.
no,
No, you don't have a
Nope.
no,
401 or 403B?
no,
No match?
no.
Nothing.
Did you eliminate that?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. When did you eliminate that?
when we first
in.
came on.
When we first came in, we got rid of that 7.5%.
So I gotta work till the day I die. Oh, well.
Get up every morning, put your boots on,
You're
go
a
to work.
financial
Yep.
consultant, are you?
Yeah, it's very unusual for, well, trustees. Township employees typically would get a match, and typically it's 7.5 to 8.5%. Courtney, you're familiar with that. But it's very unusual for the trustees to get it.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't,
Yeah.
Nobody gets it.
They get nothing.
Yeah, and good.
Only employees or, that's in the handbook.
Okay, they're on, the thing that's confusing is they're on a salary. Typically, if you're on a salary, you're participating in the plan. If you're per diem, then you're not, but,
But we get, we
Yeah.
don't get it down.
okay.
That's the first thing we cut out when we came on the board,
Yep. One of the first. All right,
for sure.
2023, number 9
Yep.
is the resolution with MDOT, and this is for road closures, parades, everything else. We have to go into agreement with them, and then also give them a heads up when it comes closer to these dates and all this other stuff. But this is something that is every year, performance resolution. I'll make a motion to sign this.
Okay, and I'll second that, but I'll have a discussion on that one.
Okay?
Let me just get this done. This is for road closures. Snowdrift has asked this year, or they were going to have something discussed in a meeting down here recently over the weekend with some of the workers, that they were looking to move Snowdrift, the expo in the park, to Gaylord. And that would destroy a lot of income for our businesses here in town, and also force the individuals that have seen this event here for a lot of years to have to go to Gaylord to be involved at all with Snowdrifts. The thing that I discussed with the president of the chamber and also with someone that attended the meeting, they wanted something paved that they could have their tents set up on and their cars, just like they do in Lewiston, and close the road. I think that's a very good idea, and I think it's a very small thing to do to keep a major event in Atlanta. We do it for Elk Fest. I don't think MDOT would have any issue with it also in winter. They have to be asked to do that. I don't think it needs to be on this right now. This is only a resolution to be able to do it. But I think it needed to be brought to the attention of the board that might come up because of the discussion that was had. And I think we have it resolved in a conversation that the president of the chamber, Clint, was involved, and also Karen, that owns the antique place down here, Mark.
So is is the solution right there on Main Street?
Just put it out
How
on
far
Main
down?
Street. Just, we close it right down to the park, that's
Oh,
all,
okay.
because we have additional paved areas down through there and around that we control streets on, so we don't have any issues except for the main highway. So that's something I think we should consider. It'll come up again. They will make unless they're confident, we will do that for them. So it's just a thought we need to look at, and are we willing to do that? I don't see why we wouldn't do that. There's less traffic here in the winter normally than there is in the summer and the fall. So, just a discussion, just for knowledge. Anything else? Nope. This is something we all have to sign. Yeah, this has to be signed by all four of us, all five of us on the board.
Yep.
Okay, we're all set with that. We just have to vote whenever you're ready.
I think we're ready for a roll call.
Okay.
We're gonna have a first and a second, so.
Supervisor Warner,
Yes.
Treasurer Warner,
Yes.
Trustee South,
Yes.
Trustee White,
Yeah.
Clerk Lamore, yes. Motion passes 5-0. Okay. By the way, they were elated to hear that. If we were to do that, they were very happy. And I wasn't involved in that. That happened with you and them.
Yeah. Mark went to another meeting and they're very interested.
So we hopefully can retain the snowdrift rally here in Atlanta.
That
Be able to find a name, right?
affects
I think I can
Well,
figure it out.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
If we can.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a lot of,
Pretty hard though.
lot of revenue for the businesses.
All right.
Okay.
Resolution 2023, number 10, is the one that we're gonna defer. On down the board statements. I've been to the fire department. It's just an odd time of the year. They're doing what they can, fighting fires. They had more slide-offs and traffic control than they have much of anything. That's about it. For the fire department.
I went to the chamber. They've hired Jake Larson to put together their website, so still working on putting that together, kind of showcase the business in our town a little bit better. They're finalizing their hall rental agreement contract, trying to figure out the cancellation period. I think you guys decided on 14-day cancellation, so they'll have that rental agreement out soon. And then another great thing they're gonna put together here is, we're pondering putting together is a meeting to invite all business owners to join the chamber, to entice them to join, but it would be a dinner, given to them, but offer different package levels, solid, or gold, bronze, et cetera, based on how much they want to contribute.
Links.
And with that would come like some advertising perks and with their website and Facebook and all that. So I think that's an excellent idea to try to get more people to be a part of the chamber. And then even individuals could join too. There'd be like a $25 or so individual package you could buy. That's it on chamber. We did have a parks meeting too, so making headway there. Our quote that came back from the engineering firm was way over, of course, what we're shooting for. So we had to kind of strategize and see what's important and what's not. But great meeting. We had a lot of good improvements that can really do a lot for that park that we're shooting for, and we've got a bunch of letters of support and making some good headway on that. That's all for me.
Okay.
I took a look at that, I'm very impressed by the work you guys did. It's great, we appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I feel like we're in a good spot right now, so.
We're in a very good
Yeah.
spot, because I think if we looked at it initially, we were looking at 650,000, and highly unlikely we get that, but a $400,000 grant for what we're receiving in so many areas dealing with kids in kindergarten all the way up through seniors to be addressed here in the park.
Yeah, and when we looked at what improvements would be number one priority versus 2 or 3, we kept that in mind. What's gonna get people out there, what's gonna draw people there,
Yes.
what's gonna get people active, all ages too. We're even entertaining putting kind of like an adult exercise equipment area in.
Right.
And then adding some hardwood trees though. A lot of the infrastructure stuff we wanted to do, we found out is not part of the grant.
Right.
So that's out.
Yeah.
But we're definitely gonna get the trees
Yeah, you
too.
guys looked at ground swales and stuff.
Yep, they said no on that. Can't do swale, the bioswales.
You did a lot, but you couldn't get,
Mhm.
that was in, it would
That's a
never go
different
through.
grant.
Yeah, different thing, it's a TAP grant most likely,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, nice, thank you.
Okay. Leslie, you been anywhere?
Yeah, just left. And things are going pretty. We're looking at next 2 parcels to purchase, and that's about it. Not really new. Bill kind of filled you in last time, so.
Okay, Evelyn, you been anywhere?
Next week.
Next week? Phil?
Planning commission meeting. Did a lot of work on the master plan, which I think's coming along nicely now. There's some big areas yet to cover, but I think we'll be done in probably 2 more meetings is what I understand from Denise. We should be finished with it, as far as where we are now. So I think we're coming along quite well.
Okay. If we're done with that, back down to public comment. Anybody from public got anything? Danny?
You're just talking about representatives going to meetings and such, and are we considered liaisons? Okay, between the committee and the board. It's just at the last meeting, it was brought up that if a motion was made, we'll say, and I'm just kind of referring to the planning, and it is a special thing because it was pertinent at the time, there was no direction given. But if your liaison is sitting on the board and you have minutes made, is that not enough for the liaison to bring it back to the board to take action on? Because otherwise, it sounds like there's another step that for years we've been missing, and every time that you all need to have something done from your board, then you need to make sure that you just can't carry their minutes back and say that we decided to plant trees for X number of dollars, and we have a grant. Now you actually have to bring back that we have a request to make to the board that you would support this, that you have da-da-da. It's not just that representative bring it back, or like Phil, that it just, you don't bring back just the minutes. Otherwise, in the past, it's always kind of like, well, we made a decision on the previous board, you bring it back to the board, and you act on it.
Yeah. And a lot of it, like the fire department and the ambulance and stuff, I mean, you're part of that board, and all you're bringing back is just little snippets of what's happening over there. I mean, really, this board don't act on a whole lot that goes on over to the fire department, except for at the annual meeting.
Okay,
And then the whole board gets to go to the annual meeting.
Okay, but I guess maybe as a planning then, that you have to act on such. I mean, either maybe you need to make a decision and think about it, that, yeah, we really want the planning then to make a directive. So from now on, when they vote on something, now we want to actually have a directive added to it. I just want, because a lot of this is just not about clarity on the marijuana, we'll say, well, just because it's pertinent. And so, I mean, somehow or other, it sounds like we need to have clarity I'm only asking, I'm only suggesting, maybe the board wants to, you know, further talk about it. If nothing else, put it down and talk about it in the future. One thing, another thing I brought up before, that you talk about fee structure. Now, Dave and I have talked, we'll say over coffee more than once, that if someone is behind in paying their fees or whatever, that you add it onto their tax bill. Now, I'm told you can't do that.
Fees on the zoning part, or fees
Yep,
on the
because-
water bill, or?
Okay, you've already got it on your water bill, right?
Yep.
Okay, but now, he comes up to my house and they say, you didn't pick up your stuff. 30 days he has to go back, you didn't pick up your stuff. 30 days later he has to go back, they gotta pick it. I'm not paying you. So now you gotta take him to court. The only other way to do it is that what I'm seeing, that you add it on to the fee structure, you know, and add it onto the tax. Now it's off the bills paid, it's onto their tax, it's onto that piece of land because of that person.
Okay.
I'm only suggesting it's something
Yeah.
you'd have to look into. That's, because it just, you know, it's something, I've seen it pushed down the road for quite a while.
Yeah.
You know, mentally, you know, and so it's just kinda like, I just think that it would make his job a lot easier. It would clean up your bills.
Can I
Go ahead.
refer this to Vanessa? And she's been in contact with Sherry Eckert from the Agate? There you go. Agate?
Yep.
And Vanessa and her in conversations.
Well, the only reason that I was bringing it up, because you have the thing with the water bill, and I was told we can't do it. If you're gonna add fees on from your water bill and add it onto the tax, and said the next guy that buys the house or whatever has to pay that, I just feel like that same thing could flow on your fee structure. Now, whether or not that's the legal thing, I guess, that you need to ask, and you're asking daughter to look at.
Well, I've been very close to where all the real estate agents that call, if there's an outstanding water bill, it's settled at closing. I did turn over 4 past due water bills to our assessor that were added to the county, or added to the taxes. I was able to collect 1, but Sherry wants the delinquent water bills off the taxes before I even turn them over to her.
She don't wanna be responsible for collecting all the tax and the water bill, and then sorting the water bill and the taxes, and being sure that the township gets their money back on the water
So
bill.
then what you're telling me, what you're doing is not legal.
I
Because if you can't
don't say
follow
it's
through-
legal,
Because you can't
I'm
follow
just telling you
through-
that Sherry don't wanna do it.
It's a willingness to do the job, and that's something she doesn't wanna do. It's like, put it in and pass it on. We do the same thing with taxes back to the county.
So,
Okay,
we just been in that conversation with her,
Okay.
just,
I mean, I just thought it was a legal thing, you could either add it on or you couldn't add it on.
You can add, like the delinquent water bills,
Yeah.
after 6 months, you're to add them on, but you can only add them on once a year.
Okay, but then you're telling me that the county won't collect them.
No, they don't.
She wants them
She doesn't
off
want
before I
to
turn
collect
them over to her.
So then they're not collectible.
no, that's.
Unless I put them
she
back
don't
on the
want
taxes.
to.
Yeah,
See, there's a difference between she can and she don't want to.
so the only other thing I can think of is this upcoming October, get a hold of the assessor, put them back on the taxes, try collecting.
And they
Yeah.
tell you no again. So
Yeah.
you just
And then
push
you
it
got-
down the road, so
Yeah.
you really have no teeth.
So
Okay.
why are you
Okay.
going through all that extra
Yeah.
work? Because she doesn't want to do her job that we are legally entitled to do.
Unless we put a lien on their property. Right now, there's 3 that I'm still waiting to collect from taxes, the delinquent water
Yeah.
bills.
Aren't you talking about putting a lien on the property? Because that's what I thought we were doing, right? Putting liens on properties for the amount past due.
Dave, you got something that you could
Right.
partake in this?
I don't think she can really refuse to collect that.
No.
What happens is, like your tax assessor, we have an incident over where I live where we have an easement and we have 94 lots total. So I thought, well, I'll go pay the taxes on it and then I'll collect from everybody. But when I looked at the 94 lots, somebody's gonna tell me I don't use it, I'm not paying. So I got a hold of the assessor and I said, I want you to divide this by 94 lots. his response to me was, that's too much work. I said, okay, here's my response to you. I'm gonna go pay the taxes on that easement, which is a non-buildable lot, for 3 years, and then I'm gonna go to court and get it. And that's what I think he was gonna do. I can't say it. Anyways, our next tax bill, it came out, it was $1.95 or something. If you notice your tax bill and you're in the neighborhood, you'll see that that's on there. So it did get divided between 94 lots, but his first impression was, this is a little bit of work. I don't wanna do it. I think you're running into the same thing there.
Well, I've already sent an email out to MTA. I
Okay.
got a response. She was unclear, so she's looking into it. So I'm doing homework.
And then a little bit of Guy's question, and I'm not positive on this, but I was under the impression, and I'll check a little bit more, that we could assess their taxes $500 if they don't comply with the zoning and
With the
blight
zoning.
ordinance.
Now, as far as the zoning, a lot of that would be, the building and stuff as you're making improvements, correct? I mean, you wouldn't come across a bunch of zoning and then, like I said, sell out,
Right, that would be passed on to the next
and that would be passed
file,
on.
which is, a little bit sad, but it's way of life. So anyways, I understand what Denny's
Okay.
saying,
Yeah,
and he has a very valid point.
Yeah, the
Oh,
only,
absolutely.
so it's possible that we'd probably look into it and see if that was something that we could.
I'll be glad to check into it as far as zoning and blight, and I'll be able to give you an answer. My impression is $500.
and the only reason I was kind of bringing it up, because when we, like, the old house over here that we purchased, it had a water bill with it. And they said, you must pay this or we won't turn it on. But yet, you won't tell me that we take a blight bill that we paid somebody to go out after and you give them tickets on, I don't have to pay that, I can just shove it down the road.
Denny, I have a question.
Well,
I
that's a little,
thought at closing, that amount of money would be withheld from the seller, that the buyer didn't have to pay it.
Are you
But
saying
the
if it's
seller-
foreclosed on, you mean?
No, no, this is not
No.
foreclosure, this is just a
You're buying a
sale.
property, it seems
Yeah.
as though the seller would have to, that money would be withheld from the
The town-
seller,
They don't have to adjudicate that.
Some down there.
because,
Because it's just added on to the next, if I wanna come in, I want my water turned on, well, this has got a bill that's, 3 years past due.
when we sold a house downstate, at closing, they withheld a certain amount of money to cover water, sewer, those types of
Well,
bills,
then-
taxes, and the seller had to, which us, we had to
Yeah.
give them X amount of dollars, and then after those things were settled, then we got the difference back.
We
But-
had
so
to pay
that's
the water
weird.
bill. The only thing is, maybe that's an arrangement the township should work out with any kind of a real estate closing that it says that it's put on. Maybe you don't have that agreement, so any kind of real estate with water, but I don't know if you could do that with blight.
Yeah.
Well,
you know.
before Scott left, he already had an idea of who was on the water system. So if they were close, he would ask, outstanding water bill, and one of them did.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, we'll
So we
collect
were
this
able to
money.
get some at closing.
Yeah. I'm just trying to
So
say
that-
to you, that you have a policy and it covers, you don't have to keep going from this one to that one to that one to that one kind of a thing. It's one thing covers all, you don't have to debate it again.
Yeah, but I see what he means with the blight. We have it with water, but not blight.
on blight, when you give a citation, first you give warnings and stuff, or whatever you prefer to do. I prefer to give warnings, and then if they get a citation, that goes to court. If they plead not guilty, then we go to a higher court. And then at that point, the township has to have an attorney. Well, when you push it to a higher court and you're found guilty, you take a good chance of paying the attorney fees too. In other words, the person. Sometimes it's simpler for them to either just pay the ticket, but your first ticket is $300 or citation. The second one is $600. But I do believe, and I'll come back with the answers, that you can assess their taxes $500.
On
It's
any,
got- Yeah, so if you look at the whole picture, if you've got your second citation plus the tax, you're talking $1,100. Not counting court costs or anything. but I'll check it out. That's how it works.
Yeah, we need to find that out.
Yeah.
But I was trying to bypass that
So
so
I'm glad he brought that up.
so you could get it, otherwise that means you gotta go to court now.
Well,
That was only, anyway, I don't wanna debate it right now, I just thought, so you
Okay.
guys can look into it, and that's,
all right.
As far as paying that water bill at closing, like she was talking about, that depends on the terminology of the contract. Some of them don't bother covering that, and they don't withhold any money out of it, so whoever's buying the property gets the water bill with it.
I just assume that always happens, but I
No.
guess not.
Depends on the purchase agreement.
From a buyer? Well, seller, but yeah. One was a $600 bill. So it's work.
So it
but
does, I mean, it adds up.
Water's getting caught up.
Vanessa's doing a good job of chasing it down.
I have a comment on trustees' behavior and decorum. You guys are all fiduciaries, and you should be professional. On 2 occasions, 3 occasions actually, Evelyn White has made verbal disparaging comments to Dan Kent. She said he was an asshole at a meeting. At a planning commission meeting, she verbally disparaged 3 planning commissioners. And at this last meeting, when she was leaving, she said, next time it'd be nice if you didn't come to the meeting drunk. I wasn't drinking, you asshole.
Okay,
All right.
You're a fiduciary,
What's
you can
wrong?
get sued.
okay.
All those? I didn't sign any of those. I made that part. Okay. Any other public comment?
I've got a question for the board. Do you have currently anyone that is looking into and writing grants for the township?
Specify what for, I guess. We do have
Well,
somebody looking into.
Any possible grants that are even available? Has anybody,
Park grant?
do you have anybody that is actually actively searching for grants that could help this community and, you know, maybe help with the development of this town compared to, you know, this town has died over the years. And just a suggestion to the board, someone who is very good at grant writing and doing the research, very knowledgeable, very educated, maybe just a thought, check with Stephanie Teets because she's very good at that. And she knows how to write grants, she's had all the training, she knows how to do them. Maybe something to, you know, maybe consult with her and see if you could get some good grants written for this township.
Yeah, she's also got her master's degree and excellent grant writer. She'd make a great trustee.
I am actually sitting on the Parks Committee, and we are going after the DNR Spark Grant right now. And we have, oh, there's 6 of us, but Kelly Carl, she's a school board member, and she actually works for SimCog, but works remote and lives up here in Atlanta, and she's been a great resource. She writes grants, and she's done this. So we are going after one right now, but I know there's a lot more out there to go after. And I personally am very interested in getting to learn how to write them, so if, I don't know, Alpina or anyone has a course, I would definitely be willing to take that.
And that's why I suggested Stephanie Teets, because I do personally know that she is very good at it, so.
That's good to know, yeah.
So it might be a great resource for the board.
All right, thanks, Dan.
one more.
You're welcome.
Okay. Denny?
Well, you've expanded down in the park. You're evidently working on potties over by the fishing site.
Yep,
Are they gonna be open?
by next summer.
Are the potties down in the park in this block building open?
From sun up till sundown,
Wintertime?
wintertime. I don't believe
Okay.
they get unlocked through the day in the winter. I think there's
Okay, the only
an
reason,
outside porta-john out there usable for the wintertime.
okay, the only reason I was suggesting that you consider a road sign that says public restroom, or here, public restroom, you know, I know it's when you get older, I'll tell you, you start appreciating potty stop. And
Right there with you.
And I'll tell you.
You don't
when
have to be old.
Yeah, you don't have to be old, well, okay, well, it
Couple
kinda
kids,
means a
you're
little
done.
bit more anyway. But else I was
You
thinking,
know
that
this
somewhere
one.
or other, that people that travel on East-West
Okay.
Road, that somehow or other, there's either denoted a sign, you know, down there, public restrooms, or here in the corner, public restrooms, when this is open. You know, it would really help with, someone passing through the community that says, well, geez, I wish I could find a place that's open. Boy, I didn't wanna go to a bar very bad, you know, that kind of a thing. So I'm only, again, only a suggestion.
That's a good
Sometimes
idea.
we work with it every day and you work right around it, don't even think about it,
Yeah, there's not a lot of places either,
Right.
is there?
till you need one.
Yeah.
Right. Well, then when you
First
find a
tree
good
on
one,
the
you find a good
Yeah,
one, you
you
take
find a good one and a clean one, I tell you, it really makes a big difference. Thank you.
All right,
May I make one last comment?
sure, don't have to be the last comment, but go ahead.
Right. I would like to say I appreciate Evelyn and Courtney both as trustees. I believe they both work very hard at what they're doing, and they do it with integrity and honesty and with a spirit of love. And I appreciate them very much. Thank you.
I would have to differ with that because I don't think a trustee
I'm
that will
sorry,
call
Kent. Kent, I wasn't talking to you.
You
I
know?
wasn't
Shut 'em
talking to you,
off.
Kent. I
Well,
wasn't
that's all right,
talking
because
to
you know what, there's no
No,
integrity
no.
with that one light whatsoever,
Order
or
of the
for
board.
yourself, whatsoever.
I have something to add when the
Thank you,
public,
Marva.
public is
Okay.
done with their comments.
Everybody else good with public comment?
Yeah, I was gonna just piggyback what your daughter was saying, if you have people that are on the screen, I feel as though that they, you know, there's a point in time, yeah, they should be shut off. Because it's kinda like here, if somebody's out of order or whatever, you don't wanna see it take.
We can't mute them, we don't have to listen to them.
Well, that's what I'm
It
just
just
saying.
takes a minute to find
Well, I
the
didn't hear
right,
that,
right
yeah.
button.
I didn't hear that, so I'm just, no, I mean, cause it's only fair.
Denny, if you look at the screen, what they added is there's a hand on the screen, so Dan Kent had his hand up.
Right.
Marva didn't have her hand up. So
Right.
that's supposed to be the protocol that resolves this.
And it's too bad
You only
we
call
have-
on the person that has a hand up.
Yeah, too bad we have to.
That was still up from when he spoke before, actually, it's been up for quite a
It
while.
has been.
And we called on him, and then, from there, Marva had spoke, and the cross section between him and Marva is something that can be taken out of the township, they don't need to be here, okay? So for that part, anything else?
No more next time.
Something was brought to
All
my
right.
attention, and I think either Evelyn or you
Try to
could
get this back in some kind of order. This one.
maybe talk to ambulance or fire,
There you go.
but we don't have a, oh boy, I knew I'd forget it.
Safe haven,
Safe haven drop.
safe surrender.
Safe surrender. We don't have one around here. And that would be something good for Riley.
What do you,
It's for the
Safe.
babies.
oh, for the babies?
Yeah, it's a temperature control, and once baby boo is put in and the door's closed, it'll put a silent alarm to police, ambulance, fire.
Usually they're at your emergency services.
Just someplace you can drop them off?
Yeah.
If you have the legal right, if you're a young lady or a lady, and you have a child and you don't want that child, rather than, it's good to know that you can take that child anonymously, drop it off, and it not cause you any legal harm.
It's a safe haven law,
Yes.
Okay,
up to 3 days after a live birth.
so from here, we need would that be a grant to get a,
I don't know, I'll take it to the ambulance board and see
How
what
do
they
you-
say.
I mean, that's manned 24/7,
It's not manned.
No, it sends like an alert to, I believe, the
Right.
sheriff's department or something like that, that it's been opened and there's something in there, so you have to respond.
Oh.
I honestly don't even know where the closest one is. I don't know if other counties or townships around us
I
have them.
believe there's one in Gaylord.
Okay.
I don't know, but seems as though I read something about
I
one.
think
in
it'd
Gaylord.
definitely be something to look into, yeah.
That's all I
Another question, Chris? Not done yet. The emergency coordination process. Is there a generator here on this site? We tried following through with ARPA funds for the senior center, for the county. Our senior center is designated an emergency disaster center, and they said they don't have any funding in that process right now. Evidently, they spent it all someplace else, and they didn't figure that that was an emergency spot. I'm asking, now that I've given BS, that does the township have a generator? A portable generator you tow around in case you had
Generator.
a disaster here, that you could leave it here for a while, you could take it up there for a while. You know, we could have something someday, and I know you plan for the worst and hope for the best. But if we don't ever plan, one of these days, they're gonna have a,
I believe we have a small one out in the garage. Now, it would run 1 or 2 refrigerators, or run the furnace and a refrigerator or something, but, you know, it probably would run long enough to charge a phone. But, you know,
otherwise not, okay.
yeah, I don't think we have a large one on wheels or anything.
Cause evidently, just as a heads up, Dale, how are you connected with the disaster coordination process? Cause there is no disaster coordinator in our county right now. Another position that's hard to fill.
No, they just hired one today.
Good,
Was that today?
good.
Yep,
So,
that
yeah,
was in the special meeting.
All right,
Well, then we'll be more to read, thank you, sorry about it.
okay, nope. It's all good. I know if it comes down to that, the fire department has 3 or 4 of them, like I'm sure because of it being the senior center and stuff like that, and if that's gonna be a group spot, safe haven, you know, for, you know, disaster area or whatever, I'm sure that the fire department would probably make them a high priority on the list to get one of those generators that they carry down there. I mean, that, coordinate with them, and, you know, they could deliver one and hook one up, and that way you can, do you guys have gas stoves and stuff down there?
Yeah,
So you're all set
yeah.
if the grid goes down?
Yeah, that's the whole process, cause you may end up having put cots, but so far, we're into the 3rd now, an emergency coordinator, and, you know, nothing gets done, but we spend money. You know how that goes, so it's,
I think you're almost caught up.
I hope so. That's all I have.
Okay. If nothing else, I would entertain the motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
it's your first thing.